Okay, 1 hour demo class session is there, no? So I will send that. Okay. Okay. So let me start with SSIS. So once you install the SQL Server, no, along with the SQL Server software, so this MSBI tools comes as a free tools. Okay. So once you install this SQL Server software and you want to work on the SSIS packages or SSRS reports or SSIS cubes, okay, we need to select this SQL Server data tools. Okay. So Rachita, uh, hello. Uh, do you know why what is the importance of SSIS? That class you have attended, no? What is the importance of SSIS and what is the importance of SSRS?
Yes, sir.
You know, then okay, means okay, then no problem. Yeah. So now let us go for now once you open that SQL Server data tools, now you can see we can click on this new project. Okay. So now you can see that under the two project we have some business intelligence, that is Microsoft Business Intelligence, and we can see three folders. Okay. So one is for creating SSIS package. Okay. And if you want to create some SSRS reports, we can select this. Okay. We can create a report server project. And if you want to use the SSAS, if you want to build the SSAS cubes, then we have to go for this analysis services. Okay. So SSIS is for integration services. Okay, now let us go for, now let us create some package. Okay. So let us give some solution name. Let us say SSIS, okay, underscore Abhishek. Okay. So I think Abhishek is already there. So let me go for SSIS underscore, okay, Krishna, or I think we have SSIS, Rajesh is not there. Okay, let me go for it. Okay, now you can see that. So I'm giving some solution. Okay, let us say SSIS underscore Rajesh. Okay, now you can see this solution is going to create under this physical folder. Okay, this solution is going to create. Okay, this whatever name we have given, with that name a solution or a project is going to create under this folder. Okay, and do you want to create a separate folder for our solution? Yes, in this location a separate folder will be created, okay, with this name. Okay, now let us click on. Okay, now you can see SSIS with this given name. Okay, SSIS underscore Rajesh. Okay, so it has created a solution. Okay, and now where this solution will be present. Okay, so as it's shown here, so under this C drive, where this physical location of this solution is, under the C drive program files. Okay, or you can go for this documents. Okay, under the documents, C drive documents. Okay, now you can see we have one folder called Visual Studio 2010. Let us open this. Under this we have one folder called projects. Now you can go and see a folder will be created, okay, with the given name. So SSIS underscore Rajesh, no? So we have given one name called, okay, or date modified. Now you can see, say folder is created on this today date. Okay, under this project, now the solution file is present under this. Okay, Microsoft Visual Studio solution. So this is the physical location of our project. Okay, now we can see that this solution or this project has created one default package called package.dtsx. Okay. So this DTSX means nothing but data transformation services executable file. So DTSX is nothing but data transformation services executable file. Okay. Now every package will have this control flow tab, data flow tab, okay, parameter section, event handler section, and package explorer. Okay. So what is this control flow section will do? Okay. So what is this? Every package will have these 5 different tabs here. Okay. And what is the usage of this control flow? Okay. So what is the usage of this control flow is it will define the, okay, it will control the flow of execution of your package. Okay, it will control the flow of execution of this package. Okay, now let us see. So what does that mean is, what is the meaning of control flow and what we will do in this control flow section is, so let us say my manager has given me 3 tasks. Okay, so the first task I have to create a table. I have to create a table. In the second task, I have to insert the data into the table. I have to insert the data into the table. Okay, and in the third task, so I have to update this table data. Okay, I have to update this table data. Okay, so which task we will do first? Out of three given tasks, which task we will do first? Definitely we'll go for, first of all, we need to create a table. If I want to insert the data into the table, I need to create a table. Okay, the table should present. So this is my first task. After successful completion of this, which task we will do? We will go and insert the data. If I want to update, the data should present, no? So after successfully creating the table, I will go and execute my insert table command. And after that, after inserting the data, I will go and update my table. Okay. So this linkage is done in this control flow section. Okay, it will control the flow of execution of your package. Okay, which task has to execute first, which task has to follow next, all those things we will do in this control flow section. Okay. Now let us see with some example. So now in this control flow you can see we have some SSIS toolbox is there. So you can see in the sidebar we have an SSIS toolbox is there. So these are all the list of tasks present in this control flow section. Okay. So we will go on explain this. We will explain almost 90% of these tasks. Okay, what actually these tasks will do, what is the purpose of this. Okay, so now let us, in order to explain the control flow section, let me use one of the execute SQL task. Okay, so don't worry what this execute SQL task will do. We'll have a separate session on this task. So I just want to explain what we will do in this control flow. Okay. So using this execute SQL task, we can execute any query. We can write any SQL statement. Okay. So now let us go for this. Now let me write. Okay, let me right click like and write I want to create a table. Just give some description like create table. Okay. Now connection. Go for new connection. Okay. So now let us go for new. So let us say I want to create some table. Okay, I want to create some table in where we will create in some SQL server, and in that SQL server in some database. No, so my SQL server name is, so in my computer my SQL server name is Balaji-PC. Okay, so let us say we have one database called, let us say DB underscore Abhishek. Okay, so I want to create a table under this database DB underscore Abhishek. Now let us go and see. So we have to specify in which server you want to create a table, in that server in which database. So creating a connection is nothing but specifying the database and the server. Okay, I'm creating a connection to that. Okay, we have specified where you want to create a table. Okay, And after that, you can see we have one statement, SQL statement option is there, where you can go and write your query. Okay, so either you can write it here or you can click on this icon. Okay, so yeah, enter SQL query. So let us write some create table query. Create table, let's say table underscore emp1. Okay, emp data 1. Okay, so we already know how we can create a table. Okay, how to create a table. Let us specify which fields I want to store. Okay, emp name something like varchar 20. Which fields I want to store? Let us specify some 3 fields. So I want to create a table, table underscore emp data 1. Okay, with these 3 columns. Okay, that's it. Now if I execute this, this will go and create a table in the database. Now let us go for, let me drag and drop one more query. Okay, now let us go for this. Now let us go and write, I want to insert the data. No, let me go and write insert data command. Okay, so where you want to insert? Okay, so where is the table? Okay, so we want to insert the data into a table. No, so where is the table is present? So let me take the connection again. My table is present under the DB Abhishek. Okay, and you can write your insert command here. Okay, so insert into, okay, table underscore emp underscore data 1. Okay, values. Okay, let us write my insert query. Employee ID 1 comma some name. Okay, 1 comma, okay, some name, let us say a, some salary, let us say some 3000. Okay, so let me insert some multiple records. Okay, so let me insert some employee 1, employee 2. Okay, employee 3, employee 4. Okay, so let us go for AB. Okay, AC and AD comma. Okay, let us write some 4000, 5000 and some 6000. Okay, I will setting some 4 records. Okay, click on OK. Now let us go for, let me write one more statement. Okay, so let us go for update table query. Okay, now where is your table? My table is present in this database. And which table you want to update? Let us try. I want to update table underscore emp underscore data 1. Okay, and let us say set salary is equal to 0, where emp id is equal to 4. Okay, I'm writing my update query here. Update table set salary is equal to 0, where emp id is equal to 4. Okay, so now you can see that, so I have 3 tasks here. So in the inside the control flow, what we will do, we will control the flow of execution of our package. No, so you can go to this. Now you can see we'll start with create table. So green arrow means success. Once this is success, we will go and execute the insert data command. Okay, once the insert query is success, I will go and execute my update table command. So this linkage we will do it in this control flow section. Okay, so this linkage we will do in the control flow. Okay, so that's why it will control the flow of execution. Okay, so now if I want to execute this package, so we have 2 options. One, we can go and click on this play button, or we can go to our package and right click and select this execute package. Now let me go and execute this. So now you can see that, so my first one is success. Okay, but we are able to create a table. Now let us see why this is failed. If you want to see the error information, you can go and click on this progress tab. Okay, so now you can say that insert into table EMP data one values failed with following incorrect syntax near the, I think some one of the queries is not syntax wise there is an issue. Okay, so in the fourth insert query there is an issue here. Let us go to this. So let me put a single quotes here. Okay, now click on OK, click on OK. Now let us go and see under the DB Abhishek. Let me create a query. Let me click on this new query window. So let us drop the table again. Drop table, table underscore emp underscore data one. Okay. So now let us go for and execute this. Now let me execute from here. So now you can see that. So it is starting with create table task. Once it is success, it is going for insert data, and once it is success, it is updating the table. Okay. So now you can go and see. When you go and do this, select star from this table name. Okay, now you can see we have inserted 4 records, and now you can see the fourth record is updated with 0. Okay, it has created a table, it has inserted the data, and after that it has updated the table data also. Okay, like this. Okay, so now that is what we will do in this control flow section. It will define the we will define the flow of execution of our packages. Okay, of our package task. Okay, so now if I execute this one more time, what will happen? So if I execute this one more time, what will happen is, so will the first task will execute successfully? No. So the first task won't execute successfully. Why? Because the table is already created. Okay, if I execute this, now you can see if I execute this package one more time. So now you can see that the first task is failing. Why? Because the table is already present. The table is already present. So what I will do, one option is I can go to my database and I can apply this drop table command. First of all, I need to drop the table. I need to drop the existing table, and I have to come and execute this. If the table is present, okay, I have to drop it. I have to, okay, I have to drop it, and again I'm coming and executing here. So now you can see if I execute this one more time, now the table is created and that it is going. Now I want to do everything on the SSIS side only. I don't want to go to my database and I don't want to execute the drop table command. Okay, I just want to automate my package. Okay, for any task I want to automate the package. Okay, so now means I want to execute this drop table command in the SSIS side itself. I want to handle everything on the SSIS side itself. Okay, so let me create a task for drop table command. So let me create a task for drop table command. So let us go for drop table. Okay, now let me go for, so the table is present in which database, and let us go for drop table, table underscore emp underscore data one. Okay, so I'm written my drop table command here. Now this task, when it has to execute, when the first task is failed. Okay, when the first task is failed, this task has to execute. Now let us go and see, go to this. Okay, go to this query. Now here you can go and see that, so when the first task is failed, I want to go on execute this one. Okay, so this, when it is success, it will take this success path. When it is failure, it has to take this failure path. It has to take this failure path. So now we can go and see. So we have one more arrow called, we have one more constraint called failure constraint also is there. This is success constraint and this is failure constraint. If the table is there, it will so if this table is there, okay, it will go for error, it will go for a failure. Okay, if it is failed, it is going on dropping the table. And now if I execute it one more time, you can go and see, since the table is dropped. Okay, now you can say that if this first task is success, it is taking this success path. If this first task is failure, okay, it is taking the failure path. Okay, like this. Now what my requirement is, once this table is failure, I'm dropping it. Now what my requirement is, I want to, when I'm executing one more time, it is creating the table again, and after that it is doing this insert table and update table. Okay, so now you can see I'm executing two times. Now once it is success, it is going for this. Okay, now if I execute it one more time, okay, you can see when it is failure, it is dropping the table. So I'm executing this multiple times here, but I don't want to execute multiple times. I want everything to be done in single click. Okay, so if the table is not there, okay, if the table is not there, create it and insert the data and update the table. If the table is already there, drop it and recreate and retake this insert data command. Okay, continue with this insert data command. Okay, now let us see how we can do that. So I want to, once if the table is already present, I'm dropping, that's okay. Okay, after this I should not stop the execution. I should recreate this table and I have to take this insert data path. Okay, now let us see how we can do. So let me copy this and let me paste it. If it is already there, I am dropping it, and after that I want to recreate this table. Let us change this as recreate table task. Okay, so recreate table and I am creating the table again. Okay, click on OK. And after creating the table, I need to continue with this insert data command. I need to continue with this insert data command. Okay, now we can go and execute this. So my intention is, if the table is not there, okay, it has to create and it has to continue with this insert data and update data. But it is just created. But is it continuing with this insert data and update table? No. Let me execute one more time. So now you can see once it is failure, it is taking the failure path and it is dropping the table and it is recreating the table. And is it taking the success path now? No. Okay, so my intention is to, after recreating, it has to insert and it has to update, but it is not at all executing. Why? Okay, why? Because this insert data task has two inputs. You can see it is having two inputs. So it is waiting for the input from both these arrows. Okay, but at any time only one will get success, not two. In this scenario, only one will get the success information, but not two. Now you can see in this scenario it is getting information from this input, but it is not no information from this. Okay, so that's why this one is not executing. Okay, so if we have multiple inputs, okay, what we can do is, so you can see when we have having multiple constraints, okay, whether you want to apply the AND operator or operator. Okay, so in this scenario I can go for this OR operator. In this scenario I can go for this OR operator. Because at any time, since only one condition will become true, no, so that's why I'm converting this to OR operator. Now you can see this is converted to dotted line, this is converted to dotted line. Okay, now let us go and execute this. So now you can see if it is already present, it is failed, and it has taken the failure path, it has dropped it, recreated it, and it is inserting the data and updating the table. Okay, like this. Understood? So we have success operator, success constraint, failure constraint, and operator. If you have multiple inputs, we can convert this here to OR operator. Okay, so these are all the different options available at the control flow section. Okay, so apart from this, so up to now, any doubts?
Sir, this is Abhishek here.
Yes.
Sir, I have a request for this SSIS. Every day, whenever we are completing our classes, if you can share us a video, sir, because we have to practice and there are a lot of steps we need to, practice every day. So if you can share the video on a daily basis, it will be okay, sir, for us.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So for you, any doubts, Rachita? Are you able to understood?
Yes, sir. No doubts.
Okay. Now let us go on. See. So apart from these constraints, okay, success, failure, and in operator and OR operator, we have one more constraint called. You can see here we have one more constraint called completion is there. Okay. So what is this completion task will do? Okay, completion constraint. When we will go how when will we have to use this? Okay. Now let us show you. Now let us create this. Let us give some new name to this package. Let us go for and give a new name like. So let us say first package. Okay. Now let me create one more package. If you want to create one more package, click on this new SSIS package. Okay. Okay. Click on this new SSIS package. Okay. Now let us give some new name. Let us say like second package. Okay. Second package. Now you can go and see. So in this second package, now you can see we are in the second package now. Okay. Now let me use the execute SQL task and let us go on. So let me create one more table. Okay, let me create one more table. Okay, so create table 2. Okay, now in the same database I want to create it. Okay, but here you can see that my created connection which I created in the first package, I am not able to use it in the second package. I'm not able to call it or use it from the second package. Okay, now go for this now, but I don't want to create multiple times. Okay, if I created only one time, I already created the connection in the first package, no? Okay, if I want to connect to the same database, I don't want to create multiple times. So I just want to reuse the connection. I just want to reuse the connection which I created in the first package. In that case, what you can do is you can make this connection to project connection. Okay, right now the scope of this connection is available to this package. Right now the scope is limited to the package level. Now I want to convert this into project. Why? Because okay, I can access this connection from all the packages now. Okay, I'm changing the scope of this connection, okay, from package level to project level, so that I can create the connection only one time and I can reuse it. Now you can see in the second package also I am able to see that connection, and you can go and see in this you can see we are able to reuse that connection. Okay, so if you apply this convert to project, okay, we can reuse it from any n number of packages from all the packages in this solution. Okay, like this. Now let me create one more table. So let us create one more table. table underscore emp underscore data to. Okay, so let me have emp id. Okay, integer ename varchar 20. Okay, something like age integer. Okay, I have created a table with name table underscore emp data to id name and his age. Okay, now after creating the table I want to insert the data into this table. Now let me go and give some description. Insert data table 2. Okay, in order to insert the data, what we will do is, okay, insert into table underscore emp underscore data to values employee 1 comma a comma something like, so let us say age. No, let me go for 35. Okay, I mean just want to insert the data into the newly created table. Now here I can change this connector. Okay, I can change this constraint from success to completion. So now you can see the constraint, the connector is changed from success to completion. And what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this is, now the execution of the second task, okay, the second task will see whether the first task is executed, okay, or not. But it won't depend upon its result, whether that is query is successfully executed or failure. It won't depend upon the status, result status, whether that is success or failure. It will still continue the execution of the second pack. Okay, it will just see whether that is completed or not. It won't bother about the status, whether that is success or failure. Okay, so now you can see when I am executing it first time. So now you can see when I am executing it first time. Okay, so the first task is success and the second one is also success. But now when I execute it one more time, you can see even though the first task is failure, okay, the second one is still continuing the execution. So that is because of this completion. Means it will just see whether that is completed or not, execution is completed or not, but it won't care about the status. It won't care about the result of the execution. Okay. So if you have any scenario like this, okay, in those scenarios, you can go and use this completion constraint. Okay. So this is about the control flow section. These are all the different constraints available in this control flow section. Okay. So we have success, we have failure, we have AND operator, OR operator, and we have this completion operator, completion constraint. Okay. So that is what we will do in this control flow tab. Okay, like this. Suppose, let us see, I have one more. Okay, so we have data flow section is there. Okay, so what we will do in this data flow section? Okay, next one is data flow tab. So what we will do in this data flow tab is we will define the flow of data in this section. We will define the flow of data. Okay, so in control flow we will control the flow of data, flow of execution, but in the data flow we will define the flow of data. Okay, and also you can see that if I go for control flow section, so you can see under this SSIS toolbox, so there are some list of tasks available. Data flow tasks, execute, SQL tasks. Okay, there are different types of tasks, different types of tools. Okay, but if I go for this data flow section, okay, you can see this. My tool section is different here. So it will have the list of transformations. It will have the list of transformations, it will have the list of sources, and it will have the list of destinations. Okay. So when I am taking the demo class, I told you that okay, the main duty of SSIS is to get the data from different sources. No, you can see we have this many types of sources. We have Excel, flat file, yes, if it is SQL table, OLDB source like. Okay, so we'll get the data from multiple sources and we can load it into destinations, different destinations. Okay, or single destination. Okay, before loading, we can do some modifications to our data. No, so using these transformations, we can do okay, we can modify the table data. Okay, now how to come to this data flow section? One option is you can click on this data flow tab and you can see you can click on this no data flow task have been added in this package. Click here to add a new data flow task. Either you can click on it here. You can come to the data flow section and you can click on it here. In the control flow, you can see we have a data flow task is created. Okay. So as soon as you click on it, now you can see I have deleted that one more time. So as soon as you click on it, you can see one data flow task is created. Okay, that is one option. Another option is another option is we can drag and drop this data flow task. Okay, and you double click on it. We can drag and drop this data flow task. Okay, and you can double click on it. It will take you to this data flow section. Okay, so now let us say my requirement is so inside the data flow task we'll get the data from multiple sources. No? So let us take one of my sources Excel file source. Okay, let us assume that my one of the source data is present in Excel file, and let us assume that one of my source data is present in flat file. Okay, and my requirement is I need to get the data from these multiple sources and I want to load it into my destination. So let us take I want to load it into this OLDB destination. OLDB destination is nothing but SQL table. Okay, so before loading, so I need to get the data from Excel file. Okay, I want to push it into SQL table. Similarly, I want to get the data from flat file and I want to put into my SQL table. But here you can see that so this input won't accept more than one input. This destination is not accepting more than one input. So in this case, what I can do is I can use the union all transformation to combine these two source data. So let me take one union all transformation. Okay. So let us take this Excel file and let us take this flat file. So we know union all what it will do. It will combine the two source data. So like in SQL also we have the union all. Suppose what this union all will do is suppose from this Excel file you are getting 5 rows and from this flat file you are getting 4 rows. So it will combine 5 plus 4. So it will give us 9 record output into the destination. So it will combine the two source data. Okay, that's it. Now after combining, I want to push the data into my destination table. So we are defining the flow of data. Okay, in this data flow section, we are defining how the data need to flow. Okay, we are specifying how the data needs to flow. Okay, so this is what we will do in this data flow section. Now let us see this Excel file, what we will do in the flat file. Let us locate our Excel file. So let me show you some sample data. So on the desktop, I have some major source files. Now let me take one sample Excel file. Let me open the sample Excel file. Okay, now we can go and see. So in this Excel file, we have multiple column, multiple sheets. Employee data, EMP Excel data, EMP source to. We have multiple sheets now. So let me take this third sheet. Okay. So now you can see this in the third sheet. We have first column, first row contains column names, and we have some data. Okay. So let us select this as first source. So how we can click on this Excel sources? Double click on it. Okay. Now creating Excel connection is nothing but locating the Excel file. Okay. Already there is no existing files. Let me click on this new connection. Okay. So we have to locate our Excel file. That's it. Okay. Now you can see. Let me click on browse. Okay. Go for desktop. Okay. So under this we have one folder called Major Source Files. Let me select this Employee Master Excel. Now you can see since it is Excel SX, it is showing the automatically showing the Excel version. And now the first row contains column names. Yes. Now we have already seen that the first row contains column names like employee ID, employee name, all those are there. No, if it is there, we have to select this. So now you can see in that Excel file. So we have seen multiple sheets. No, you can see in that Excel file how many sheets are there. Those all sheets are listed here. Okay, and which Excel sheet data you want to load. So let us see EMP underscore source $2. And if you want to preview the data, you can click on preview. So now you can see first row contains column names and the data is present here. Okay. Now my Excel file is ready. And you can see this is the connection we have created to the Excel file. And if you want to rename it, you can go and rename it as. So let us see EMP Excel file. Okay, EMP Excel source. If you want, you can rename like this. Okay, now you can go and see. After this is also my new name is showing here. Okay. Oh, we have selected one more time. Let me click on cancel. Okay. Now we can see the already existing connection is there. And if you want to preview one more time, we can go and preview it. Now let us go for flat file. So flat file is nothing but a text file or a CSV file. All those two will comes under the flat file sources. Okay. Now let us create a connection to your flat file. Click on new. So let us locate your flat file. Okay, you just need to locate it. That's it. So now you can see that. So let me change the connection name first. Let us say uh, connection. Okay, or connection for text file. Okay, EMP text EMP. Okay, you can give any name. Now let us locate your file. So in the same folder in the desktop. Okay, under Major Source Files, I have one file called Major underscore source. One is there. Click on it. Okay. So here you can go and say under this Major underscore source one, you can double click on it. Like here you can see. So this is also containing the list. First row contains the column names and we have some data is there. Okay. So we have employee ID, employee name, branch ID and salary. So we have selected the same thing here. And you can go on preview. You can see we have the employee ID, employee name, branch ID and salary. Okay. So we have selected our second file also. Okay. Now by both the sources are ready. Both the sources are ready. Now I just want to combine them. Okay. So let me drag and drop the union all transformation to combine those two. Now let us part the Excel source and let us pass the flat file source. Okay. After passing, let us double click on this union all. So these are all the columns input 1, union all input 1. These are all the columns coming from the Excel file. Now these are all the columns coming from the flat file. Okay. Now I need to map it. Okay. I need to map this column, first column and this first column. So now you can see when I try to map it, it is saying that metadata mismatch is coming. The metadata error is showing. What is this metadata error is? So if you are applying the union in SQL side, so there are some prerequisites, no? If you are applying union on the SQL side, what are those prerequisites? So did you remember if you are applying union in the SQL side, so there are some rules we have to follow. Some prerequisites are there. Means the number of columns should be same in both the queries. In both the inputs, the number of columns should be same. So here from the input one, we have 4 columns. And in the input 2 also, let us see how many columns. We have 4 columns. Okay, so first of all, the number of columns is matching. And the second rule is the corresponding columns data type also should match. Okay, when you are doing the union all, so the corresponding columns, that is, if employee is integer in the Excel file, in the text file also, employee ID should be integer only. The corresponding columns data type should match. In the first query, first column is integer. In the second query also, the first column should be integer only. If one is integer and another one is varchar, the data mismatch will come. Okay, conversion error will come. That is what it is showing here. So what I have to do is I have to make this both the inputs column input column data type should match. Okay, first of all, where I can see this data type. So from the Excel file, I'm getting some employee ID column. Okay, I'm getting some employee ID column where I can see this column data type. Where I can see this is, if I go to this and click on this double arrow in this click on this constraint, we can see we have one metadata is there. Okay, so here employee is coming it as R8. So the data type is showing it here is as DT underscore R8, that is nothing but float. Okay, here employee is showing it as float and employee name is showing it as WSTR and R8 and R8. Remaining two are also showing it as float. But from the flat file source, if you go and see the metadata of the flat file source, of this flat file source columns, here everything is coming it as str. That's the problem. So we have to make sure that both the sources metadata also should match. First of all, number of columns should match, and after that metadata of the corresponding columns also should match. Okay, so my duty is I have to make these both the sources, okay, metadata should be same. Either I can convert any one of the source to the corresponding metadata. Okay, so let me try to convert the flat file columns. Okay, so here in this Excel file, the first column is coming it as DTR8. Now let me convert the flat file columns employee ID to DTR8. So to convert the data types, we have one transformation called data conversion is there. Okay, what it will do is, so now you can see if I click on employee ID, so now you can see it is coming from the source, it is coming it as string. So I need to convert this into R8. No, R8 is nothing but float. No, let us go and see. From the Excel file, this one is employee ID is coming it as R8. So that's why I'm converting this also to DTR8. R8 is nothing but double precision float. Okay. So now you can go and see. Along with this conversion, now you can see, along with this conversion, it is giving us a new column name called alias column called copy of employee. So let us give some new name called converted employee. Okay, so it is converting the data type and it is giving us a new name called converted employee. So now let us go and see. So here I have employee column from the text file. So along with the employee, we have the converted employee. Let us take this. Now we can see, is that any error is coming? No. Now there is no error. Why? Because the data type also is matching. Here is also DTR8 and from Excel file also DTR8. Since the metadata of corresponding columns, metadata of both first columns are matching, it is not throwing error. Now let us go for employee name and see whether the metadata is different. Yes. Again, the employee name metadata also is different. So from the text file, from the Excel file, it is coming it as DTWSTR. This is R8 and this is R8. But from the text file, you can see employee name is coming it as DTSTR. So let me convert these three remaining columns also. So inside the same data conversion, I can go for employee name. Let me convert this into WSTR format, DTWSTR. Okay. Now let us give the column name as converted employee name. Okay, let me go for branch ID. So this is, let me convert this into corresponding R8 format here also. Let me convert this also into R8 format. Okay, branch ID, no? Let me convert this into branch ID to R8 format. Okay, and you can make this as converted branch ID. Okay, now let me go for salary. So salary also is STR. Okay, let me convert this into R8 corresponding data type of Excel file, and let me make this as a new column name as, let us say, converted salary. Okay, so now after conversion, let me click on this. So we are converting employee ID to R8, branch ID R8, salary R8, employee name as string WSTR. WSTR is nothing but n varchar. STR is varchar, WSTR means n varchar. So now let us go for this union all. Now let us try to remap it. So here converted employee, from left table Excel file employee name, and from text file let me take the converted employee name, branch ID, and here let us go for converted branch ID, salary, converted salary. So now you can see, is that any error is coming? No. Why? Because both the sources metadata is matching down. Okay, both the sources metadata is matching down. Okay, okay, now after unioning the data, okay, now you can go and push the data into your SQL table. Okay, now select into which table. So let us say in the same DB Abhishek, I want to create a new table. Let us click on this new. Let us give some. So let us say table underscore EMP destination or EMP data 03. Okay, so now you can see R8 means float and WSTR means nvarchar float and float. Now go to the mappings, link your input columns and the destination columns. Click on it. That's it. Now you can go and execute this. Okay, now we are getting some extra error. So there is always some problem with the Excel files. Okay, Excel files will store the Unicode format of data. Means inside the Excel files, we cannot store an integer value as a int. We can store the integer value as a float. And similarly, We can store a string value, that varchar value, it will store it as n varchar. That is one issue. Another one is, here now what is happening is, so this Excel file is a different software. Excel is a different software, and this SSIS or MSBI is a different software. Yes, Excel file is available in two versions. One is 32-bit OS and 64-bit OS. Similarly, MSBI is also available in two versions, that is 32-bit OS and 64-bit OS. Now it is checking for that OS compatibility, whether it is checking whether both are same OS compatibility or not. Okay, both are 32-bit or both are 64-bit or not. So because of this, now we are getting this error. Okay, but I don't want to do that checking. Now you can see, you can go and check in the progress bar. You can see cannot acquire connection, means it is not able to acquire that, create that connection. Why? Because it is checking now whether both are same OS compatibility or not. Both are 32-bit OS or both are 64-bit OS or not. Both your Excel software and the MSBI software. But I don't want to do that checking. What I want to do is, I want to stop the checking. How I can stop the checking is, I can go to this solution properties. Okay, go to the configuration properties, and here we have one debugging command, debugging option. Here you can see that it is doing that run 64-bit runtime. Okay, so you can see specify whether the project should start 64-bit SSIS runtime. No, I don't want to do that checking whether that is 64-bit or 32-bit OS software. I don't want to do that checking. I want to stop the check. So that's why I have come into this project properties. Under that configuration properties, under the debugging mode, I have made this option as false. Don't do that checking. Let me apply, click on it. Now you can go and execute this package. Let me right click on this execute task. I'm executing the data flow task separately. So now you can see that, so it is not doing the checking. So we are getting 8 records from Excel file, 10 records from flat file, 8 plus 10. We are combining the 18 records and we are putting into the SQL table. Now let us go and see. Select star from the same database. Select star from, okay, data 03. Now you can go and see. Okay, we have 18 records. 10 plus 8. All those records are combined and pushed into this destination table. Okay. So this is what we will do in this data flow section. So we'll get the data from multiple sources and load it into single destination. Before loading, we can do some modifications to the data, that is called by applying the transformation. Okay, so this is one of the example for data flow section. So we could define the flow of data here. Okay, so can I stop now? Any doubts?